So I think with all of these things, whether that's crypto, NFTs, or DAOs, the underlying basis is always the blockchain. And the easiest way to think about the blockchain, it's the definition is that it's a distributed digital ledger, which basically means that there are different servers across the world, and these servers are all decentralized, which means that they're not owned or controlled by any one company, and each server contains a copy of the blockchain. So even if one server or one node happens to go down, or a few of them happen to go down, the entire system isn't disrupted. And this is important because it ensures that in the case of a catastrophic event, so say for example, if there's a war or if there's anything else of that nature, as we've seen recently in Russia and Ukraine as well, that the infrastructure can tend to go down. So blockchain is resistant to that. It's resistant to censorship. It's resistant to government control. And on top of that, all of these different things are springing up. So crypto, for example, is a way to use the blockchain primarily to transfer funds and money, but to also develop decentralized applications on blockchains like Ethereum. NFTs are basically, you can think of them as certificates of ownership or authenticity in the digital world. So previous to this, it's been difficult for me to say online that, hey, I own this picture, or I own this trading card, or I own this piece of music. But with NFTs, which are recorded on the blockchain, I can say that this encrypted block shows that I have ownership of it, and I can use that, for augmenting my social status, for investment purposes, and things like that. And finally, coming to DAOs, are they're primarily thought of as companies which are decentralized, which run on the blockchain, but I tend to think of them more as communities with a bank account. So if, for example, you are interested in a particular genre, say gaming or music or anything of that sort, and you want to interact with other people, and those people are interested in creating something with you can do that through a DAO, and the DAO ensures that if there are any monetary gains that happen as a result of it, all of you get to participate in them and take a share.
Okay. So, I think this is a fantastic introduction. However, this whole onboarding, a lot of people fear about crypto. But it's easy to onboard now because there are platforms and marketplaces that are live, and one can also see how the Indian government too recently has made it all pretty much overboard. It's all legal. It's like, like you're investing anything, you just invest, pay taxes on your profits. I think all of that's taken care of. But with NFT and DAOs, there's still a little bit of a hazy sort of understanding in the eyes of most people I talk to. So, and it's super expensive also. It seems that to list your NFT somewhere, it's like there's this $200 fee and all of that. So likewise for DAOs, how does one get going? What are the steps to say put an NFT in or start a DAO?
Right. So for the first question, which is NFTs, listing them being very expensive, that's absolutely correct. As far as Ethereum is concerned, which is the primary blockchain on which most of the NFT marketplaces such as OpenSea and Rarible are hosted. What happens is basically whenever you're uploading an NFT, you have to pay a fee to someone who's helping encrypt and secure the blockchain, and that is known as the gas fee. And because there's so much demand for space on Ethereum, these gas fees tend to be high. So if you want your transaction process faster, you need to pay a higher fee. So that's why for people who are getting into NFTs and just want to explore the space and say experience how an NFT marketplace works, they can consider alternate blockchains such as Solana or Flow, which are faster and more scalable than Ethereum. So as a result of that, the gas fees on them are pretty low. Of course, they don't have a lot of popular collections at the moment. Most of the really popular ones, such as Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoKitties and CryptoPunks, are all listed on Ethereum, and purchasing them is anyway out of any of our budgets, at least mine. So if you just want to get comfortable with how NFTs operate, you can consider different blockchains. And as far as DAOs and getting entry into DAOs, I still think it's a fairly niche space. And most of it, from what I've seen, a lot of them are organized on Discord. So if you're comfortable using Discord, I would recommend that you set up an account.
Hey, sorry about that.
No worries.
Go ahead.
That you set up a Discord account for yourself, and there is, I think, a resource, and I'll be happy to share it with you if you want to link it. It's a glossary of all the best DAOs and what they do. So you can have a look at that, see what's of interest to you, join their Discord server, and just engage with them on Twitter and take it forward from there. Because the idea, as I said earlier, is it's a community. So most DAOs are very welcoming to new members, and they'll have an initiation process to get you comfortable with what they do. And for some DAOs, like the Super Team DAO, which I'm a member of, you can get in by winning different types of competitions that the DAO hosts regularly. So they have an article writing competition. They have design competitions where if you design a nice logo for a project and you win, you're awarded a certain amount in USDC or USDT, and you're also given membership of the DAO. So I think Twitter and Discord are great places to be active on if you're interested in Web3 and crypto, because a lot of the action does happen there. And other than that, there are some dedicated resources which we can attach to the post or put in the description.
Thanks. So last thing, as being a lawyer and being interested in so many platforms and regulation sort of landscape for NFTs and competition law, sort of, you can see things through so many different lenses. How what do you think are the roadblocks for blockchain, NFTs, and DAOs, and how are those being addressed by the community or policymakers?
Right. So I think as far from what I understand, policymakers have a few major concerns with crypto and NFTs. And generally Web3. First is, of course, I mean, the entire ethos of this is based on decentralization, which means taking some amount of power and control away from the government. And this obviously makes them uncomfortable because they do like to have control, at least over the important aspects of running a country. So there are fears that, if the country becomes too reliant on crypto or on alternate assets, then the Reserve Bank, for example, loses its ability to control the inflow and outflow of money. Foreign exchange problems occur, and these are concerns that are being dealt with. There are also concerns that crypto and NFT can be used for money laundering, fraud, and tax evasion. While research does suggest that this isn't the case, and only a small amount of all transactions, at least on Bitcoin, are used for quote unquote illegal purposes. But again, here we are seeing improvements in the traceability and tracking of transactions on Bitcoin. So for example, if recently you saw the Bitfinex hack, which is basically an exchange which was hacked in 2016, I think just a couple of weeks ago, the FBI was able to seize the entire amount of Bitcoin that had been hacked and stolen. So as we move towards better tracking technologies, law enforcement agencies will become more comfortable with adopting crypto. And finally, there is the consumer welfare aspect of it as well, which is that Indian consumers, if they're going to be investing in it, do they understand what it is? Are they just looking at it as a gambling opportunity? Do they have enough information? So here, I think, is where the government needs to work with exchanges and people in the NFT ecosystem, like they did with other financial instruments like mutual funds, to say that, okay, this is what you're doing when you're investing in crypto. These are the risks that are there. Once you're aware of these, now you can go ahead and invest. And I think once these concerns are taken care of, and I feel that the fact that the government has taxed crypto, even though it's a slightly higher tax rate, does signal that they're not going to ban it. And as we move forward and as we get more comfortable with crypto, the regulation should also mature. And hopefully India can become a leading crypto destination for developers, entrepreneurs, and other stakeholders.